Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us this evening for the HerStory Award event for February 2024. I will be your MC this evening. My name is Adia Lancaster, and as always, it is an honor and a pleasure to be with you. You know, the HerStory Award event, in my opinion, is truly a special and prestigious award in its own right. There are hundreds of awards out there and that honor and acknowledge many people's achievements, right? Not only do we, with the Her Story Award, acknowledge external achievements that these amazing women have done to impact their community and beyond, but we go a little bit deeper. We really care about the heart behind these women. We want to know the drive that drove them to overcome these challenges and reach those insurmountable goals. We want to know what made them courageous, what made them become fearless, and use those stories to inspire us in our own lives to overcome our own challenges that we might encounter that are similar. So for me, the Her Story Award event is very precious and very special. And I'm so happy to be a part of that with you tonight and to give you a little bit more background about Women's Federation for World Peace, about Global Women's Peace Network, and this award that we are recognizing and celebrating tonight. I would like to bring up the president of Women's Federation for World Peace USA, Kayleigh Moffitt. So please welcome Kayleigh to the virtual stage.
Thank you, Adia, and good evening, everybody. Like Adia, I absolutely love the Her Story Awards, and I'm so happy that we are doing these every month because every time we're meeting such incredible women. And, I love Adia's explanation here about we're really interested in the heart and the story behind why each of you women are doing what you're doing, because really we need the woman's touch in the world right now. So, Women's Federation for World Peace has been in existence for over 31 years. We're part of an international network with over 128 chapters in different nations all over the world. And it's all based on this idea that the woman's touch is desperately needed in our society today, and that the more that we can uplift the role of true women in the family and in leadership and in society, the more that we can see a change in peace. Certainly, I think we can all agree that peace is something that is desperately needed at this time, both in our own nation and abroad. And so we're really grateful to be in contact with and uplift those women who are making a difference in their communities, using their skills and their talents to be able to impact those around them. I always like to read a quote from the founder of our organization, Dr. Hak Jahan Moon, whom we lovingly refer to as Mother Moon. This is from her memoir, Mother of Peace. And if you saw the intro video, she says that the time has come for the true power of womanhood to save the world, which I absolutely love and absolutely agree with. But today I wanted to read just a simple quote. She is a well-known international peace leader who works with people from all different backgrounds. And this particular quote, I think, speaks to each of you and your work that you're doing. She says that creating peace is like unraveling a ball of tangled yarn. It is difficult to find where to begin, but nothing will be accomplished by sitting with arms crossed. It's such a simple concept. I mean, that first of all, peace is not a simple concept. And she talks about it, how it's built like a tangled yarn. But if we want to make a difference, we have to get over the hopeless feeling and begin to make a change and begin to make a step forward. And so we really honor each of the women that are receiving the Her Story Award today. It's titled this way because we've heard a lot of history, the story of the amazing men who have made a difference in the world. But today we really want to honor the women who their stories are not always told, and they're not looking for any particular, appreciation and acknowledgement, but they're doing it because of the drive and the heart within them. So we're looking forward to getting to know all of you tonight, and I will pass it back to Adia. Thank you.
Thank you, Kayleigh. All right, let's get started with our first awardee for this evening. It is Jennifer Jordan. She is an award-winning author, filmmaker, and screenwriter. Jennifer Jordan is a highly accomplished individual with a multifaceted career spanning authorship, filmmaking, and journalism. With a wealth of experience as an anchor and investigative journalist for NPR and PBS, she has made significant contributions to national and international publications. Notably, her books Savage Summit and Last Man on the Mountain received National Outdoor Book Awards, with the former earning recognition as an editor's choice by the New York Times Book Review. In 2016, Jordan demonstrated her filmmaking skills by directing and producing the documentary 3,000 Cups of Tea, which scrutinizes a flawed 60 Minutes report on philanthropist Greg Mortensen. Beyond her own works, she has ghostwritten and co-written several books, including the gripping true story, The Babysitter, now under consideration as a limited series documentary. Jennifer Jordan's career reflects a remarkable blend of literary prowess, investigative journalism, and cinematic storytelling. Before we bring Jennifer up to this virtual stage, I would first like to introduce you to the one who nominated Jennifer, Miss Cynthia Nakai, to come and say a few words. Please welcome Cynthia.
Hi, thank you, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Well, I've known Jennifer all my life. She's my cousin, but we never see each other. But because she's always doing something remarkable, and she is a defender of the underdog to the nth degree. She loves to find out why the person is persecuted, why the person was so malaligned. And I was so touched when she made the movie 3,000 Cups of Tea because her friend Greg Mortensen, who wrote Three Cups of Tea, has anybody read that book? It's just the greatest book how his work with Central Asia Institute went to Afghanistan and Pakistan to try to educate the girls. And then he got very malaligned by a reporter, and it just destroyed him. And he had to start from scratch again. So Jen is very good at biographies and investigative reporter, and I'm proud she's my cousin. Okay, Jen, take it away.
Thank you, Cindy. It's just such an honor, and I'm kind of speechless to be part of this august group. I think I don't know whether investigative journalists are born or trained, but I kind of feel like I was born to question authority and question the status quo and question stories that I read that don't make sense to me. And the first real time that I questioned this was back when I read Into Thin Air. And I took real conflict with how the women were being portrayed in that book. And I thought, I don't know anything about high altitude climbing. I don't know anything about what's going on there, but something's off in this reporting by this so-called journalist. So I that began my first real investigative piece. And I learned that the man who wrote the book was an incredible misogynist and had it in for particularly one woman on the trip. And so that got me into high altitude. And then a few years later, my husband and I were on an expedition on K2, and we found the skeletal remains of who ended up being the first man who died on the mountain. And there I am at base camp with this man's bones kind of wrapped up in canvas. And I'm reading accounts of him from 1939 when he died. And they're very derogatory. And all they talked about was, oh, he was out of his element, and he was this, and he was an arrogant American millionaire, and he was fat and out of shape. And I thought, wait a minute. a man who gets there, and I'm looking up the mountain, a man who gets there is not fat and lazy. So what's going on with this biography? So that became my second real, like, digging in and finding out the truth. And through that, met Greg Mortensen through my K2 in Pakistan and China expeditions. And then when I saw him taken down by 60 Minutes, and the same man who wrote the misogynist book Into Thin Air, I thought, wow, Greg Mortensen, I mean, this man has done more for educating Americans about Muslims and about the Quran as a book of peace, is being taken down by just these, kind of nefarious, threadbare claims against him. So I started that investigation because it didn't make sense. I was like, what's going on here? And I found out that 60 Minutes, was the hallmark of my young journalism, wanting to be a journalist career, was watching 60 Minutes and thinking, okay, that's the gold standard. And here I am, how many years later, going, wait a minute, these people they haven't done their due diligence. They didn't even take a camera in to where they're accusing him of not going. And so just started looking into that. And it's just, again, back to my original point, I don't know whether investigative journalists are born or made, but there's just something in me that balks, that really, rears up at being fed a story that doesn't make sense. And I hope to continue that. And I hope to always, and I do, I mean, just in my normal news watching and news reading, read a story, I'll read a story and go, wait a minute, who's in charge here? This is so badly researched and so badly written. And yet, we see it every day in our news. And it's especially with social media taking over the news industry, because news is now entertainment. CBS or NBC is owned by, Disney, I think, one of the huge corporations. So it's an ongoing battle, but it's something that you and I and all of us can do on an individual basis to just stop and say, wait a minute, what's the source? Is there any agenda involved? Is there a money trail to follow? Because that's usually a gimme. Whenever I have a story in front of me that I can't make sense of, I go, okay, follow the money. There's money involved. Where's the money? But it's an ongoing battle, and I'm glad I'm in the middle of it, because I think it's an honorable way to pursue a career in digging out and trying to ferret truth out of all of the mishmash and the power and the money of information these days. And I'm not more than one woman sitting in Utah, but the battle continues. And I'm thankful to all of you who were part of honoring me in this way. It's a huge honor, and I thank you. And thank you, Cindy, my dear cousin, for bringing me into this august group.
Wow. Well, I mean, Jennifer, I read your bio, but it's totally different to hear it from you and to feel your passion. And it's like your quest for truth, making sure that the truth is coming out, and it comes across so much, even on Zoom. And I just want to say that I love that Cynthia's nickname is Cindy. I've never heard that before. I've known Cynthia for a long time, and now I love the wonderful family connection. So it's really our great honor to be able to uplift the work you've been doing to fight for the truth and uncover the things that are being told wrong, which is so desperately needed in media in our nation right now. So I'm so grateful for you. And it's my honor to be able to present virtually this award. You will get this in the mail physically in a nice little package, but for now we present it virtually. So it says, the HerStory Award is proudly presented to Jennifer Jordan on this day, February 10th, 2024, in recognition of your outstanding contributions to media and journalism and for seeking the truth behind stories that the world needs to hear. We honor you as a peace leader who lives by the logic of love. So everybody, please join me in giving a round of applause to Jennifer as she virtually accepts this.
Thank you.
Wow, wonderful. And we will pass it back to our MC, Adia.
Thank you, Kaylee. All right. So I'm so inspired. I really feel, I just want to echo what Kaylee said about Jennifer, that you really dig deeper and you look beyond the black and white words, and you have the determination and the drive to make change, and you do. You're not sitting with your arms crossed. And so I think that's just so beautiful and so grateful for that as well. Okay, let's move on to our second nominee for this evening, Kadi Wasa Traore, founder of Women for Peace in Africa. Kadi Wasa Traore is a renowned global fashion brand developer and former model, embarked on a journey from her small hometown in the Ivory Coast to international recognition. Inspired by her mother's work as a seamstress, she developed a deep passion for fashion at an early age. As a runway model in Abidjan and later Hollywood, Kadi achieved significant success before transitioning into a career that blended her love for fashion with a commitment to social impact. Kadi Wasa's transformative experiences in the United States, marked by familial challenges and witnessing the struggles of women in crisis, led her to found Women for Peace in Africa. Through WPA, she addresses critical issues faced by women and girls in underserved African communities, particularly in providing essential feminine hygiene needs. Kadi's remarkable humanitarian efforts have garnered her prestigious awards, including recognition from the Ivory Coast government and the president of the Borough of the Bronx. Additionally, her commitment to global peace is underscored by her role as an ambassador for peace, participating in peace summits and pursuing a Master of Arts in Peace Studies at HJI New York, showcasing her dedication to both fashion and meaningful social change. Before we bring up Kadi to the virtual stage, I'd like to bring up her nominator, Ms. Gisli Dohu, to give us a few words.
Hello, good evening, everyone. How are you today? Yes, I'm very delighted here tonight to present my enthusiastic nomination to my dear friend, Miss Kadi Wasa Traore. Yeah, and I'm really very happy that she's gonna be with us today. Today I'm here to explain why I nominated Miss Kadi for the prestigious HerStory Award. So I would like to give you my simple note. So let us start by highlighting a few important aspects of Miss Wasa's life. Well, I first met her when we were a student at the Yojong International Graduate School, formerly known as the UTS. What I'm impressed about her is her incredible ability to empower women and help them to discover their inner beauty and confidence. Well, as we read already her introduction, she is not only a well-known model, but also a talented fashion designer. Well, in fact, she has previously worked as a private designer for our president wife, which is Melania Trump, the former First Lady of the United States. Yeah, she is, yes, our First Lady, Melania Trump. She is, Miss Wasa worked with her as a fashion designer. Well, their connection led us to collaborate on a special gift called we have a gift. So I told to us at that time that can we have a gift to the president? And we came to the point that why not give Melania a memoir, a True Mother's memoir. So that time we present that memoir at the penthouse apartment of Mrs. Trump, and Mrs. Trump said that she's going to read it. So thank you so much, Kadi, for working with that kind of a great action. So another reason why I nominate Miss Kadi is because he inspired me with her remarkable work in Africa through her organization, Women for Peace. She consistently looks for ways to help refugees in her country and continues to help to do so. As you have heard in introductory remarks, Miss Kadi has achieved incredible things in this regard. Her accomplishment aligned perfectly with the vision and mission of the Women's Federation for World Peace by providing support, hope, love, and resilience to women. I am deeply moved by Ms. Kadi's dedication to honoring mothers and children in Africa, which reflects the care and love shown by our founder, Mother Moon. So as we all know that our Mother Moon went also to Africa last year, and she visited the Guri Island and expressed her sympathy and support for Africa by visiting the slave cage in Senegal, and our Mother Moon offered heartfelt prayers. So this is the reason why I nominated you, Kadi, because your genuine motherly nature and willingness to sacrifice for others and embody the missions of WFWP by promoting the power of love, uplifting women in Africa. So therefore, my heartfelt congratulations to you, and I recognize you as a HerStory Award. So we love you and we appreciate you, and now I bring you on stage. Please welcome Ms. Kadi Wasa Traore.
Wow. Zizli, thank you so much for this great presentation. Wow. You know so much about me. And yes, I gave the book. Yeah, Melania has the book. Mrs. Trump. I don't call her anymore Melania. I call her, First Lady, of course. Yeah, she got the book and she's happy about it. I'm deeply honored today as a recipient of Women's Federation for Women Peace HerStory Award. I am sincerely grateful for this recognition. And it is a testament to the fact that every act, kindness, every little kindness act that we place, no matter how small, it can make a difference. I was born in a small town in Ivory Coast, West Coast in Africa, where I was raised in a unique dual faith family. My father was Muslim and my mother is Christian. My family taught me the principle of love and sharing, two values that remain infused into me as of today. They infuse in me a belief that regardless of our individual faith, all we share a common humanity and a responsibility to care for one another. Our mother's home was constantly filled with visitors, guests, and we celebrate both religion holidays. We celebrate Ramadan, Christmas, Easter, because of my mother and my father. It was unbelievable how we embrace religion in our home. And as a young woman with her own dream, I moved to the United States, where everything seemed to be brilliant for me in the fashion industry. Life, however, is not a smooth journey. It comes with discomfort and pain. And as I had told you, in November 2015, as I experienced a scam, a huge scam that left me with a financial hardship. I couldn't afford anything, even a woman periodical pad. I couldn't afford that when that happened. This scam left my mother and my daughter, 13 years old daughter, with me here with nothing. And what this scam told me, it told me about resilience, perseverance, and the power of resistance. I share a principle of my upgrading and founding the organization for Women for Peace in Africa in 2016, while I thought that I couldn't do anything with my paycheck. And our mission is providing them with the basic female need and women's care education. The struggle of women and girls in the broader community in Africa we serve can be seen in their eyes, the desperation in their voice, and I cannot turn my back on them, no matter what. We work diligently to uplift them, take them from that poverty regard, enable them to take charge of their own life. And throughout that journey, I encounter a challenging taste. It takes to me a resolve. There were moments that it was a moment that I seemed that I want to give up to, all my dream and succumb to this overwhelming pressure. But deep within me, I knew that I couldn't abandon the cause I believe in so strongly. Perseverance became my guiding principle. I learned to embrace the setback and failure as opportunity for growth and improvement. I reached out to friends and family to ask them for support, for help. They explore creative solutions for me to keep my mission alive. I became resourceful and resilient, finding ways to cut costs and stress. Every dollar living with the birth essential. I cut everything and sell off everything that I have in my house, knowing that every penny saved could be put forward supporting the organization and those in need. Through my perseverance, I was eventually able to rebuild my financial stability insecure, living this situation. As a testament to the power of never give up, I created a beauty brand called Kadi Cosmetic to eventually help support the cause of Women for Peace in Africa. So to anyone facing adversity and all kinds of challenges, I urge you to persevere and believe in your ability to overcome. And remember, it is in the darkest moment that the light of perseverance shines to the brightest. I stand here not just as an advocate for women's empowerment, but as a testament to the power of resilience. It's not about how many times you fall, but how many times you get up and brush off the dust and keep moving forward. As I accept this award, I carry with me the story of a woman and girl we have helped through Women for Peace in Africa. Their courage, their dream, and their success are a real testament to the power of love, sharing, and community. I would like to express my gratitude to Women's Federation for World Peace, for acknowledging our work, and for nurturing a global community of women dedicated to peace and empowerment. I am inspired by you. I'm inspired by the collective strength of the women in this federation. I would also like to thank my friend, mentor, Ellen Wells. Ellen Wells lost her life in 2018. She remains the organization Women for Peace in Africa honorable board member. As I look to the future, I am full of hope, and I am committed to continue empowering women and girls, advocating for their right, and working toward a future where every woman can live in peace, dignity, and prosperity. Together, let's continue to change lives. Thank you once again for this honor.
Wow. Let's give Kadi a round of applause for that. I feel like I have to take a deep breath after that message. It's so powerful. And the word you used, resilience, comes across so strongly from everything you're sharing. And I think the lesson we can all learn from you We are so grateful for you and the work that you're doing. And I love that the names of our two organizations are very similar. It must mean we
Yeah.
have the same heart, same kind of end goal. And we really want to support you and work closely with you because the work you're doing is incredible. So let's give Caddy one more round of applause as we bring up her virtual award. Again, you will receive this in a nice package in the mail, but for now, we virtually present this to you. It says the HerStory Award is proudly presented to Kadiwasa Traore on this day, February 10th, 2024, in recognition of your tremendous journey transcending nations and culture, and for your dedication for uplifting the quality of life for women and children in African communities. We honor you as a peace leader who lives by the logic of love. Congratulations, Caddy, for an extremely well-deserved award. We are so honored to be able to present this to you today. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Caddy. That was beautiful. Thank you for your sacrifice and your determination to persevere and endure. It is very inspiring, and I appreciate you. Thank you. All right, so our final nominee for this evening is Elisa Lettinger. She's the owner of Elisa Lettinger Western and Wildlife Art. Elisa Lettinger is a talented Western artist who specializes in mediums such as oil and acrylic paints. She passionately translates their deep connection to the American West into dramatic and innovative masterpieces. From prestigious exhibitions like the Montana Pro Rodeo Hall of Fame annual banquet to being featured in publications like Cowgirl magazine, her work resonates with the profound love for the Western heritage, landscapes, and the resilient people and wildlife that inhabit this iconic region. Beyond the canvas, she is a force for positive change in her community, leading impactful public art projects such as the South Park Pool mural and collaborations with Walmart and Bloomberg Philanthropies, to actively contributing as a board member of the Montana Pro Rodeo Hall and Wall of Fame. Her commitment extends beyond the studio. Recognized as one of Cowgirl Magazine's 30 Under 30 and honored with Artist's Choice and People's Choice Awards, this multifaceted lady continues to shape the intersection of art and community engagement. Now, before I welcome this wonderful, amazing lady to the stage, I would first like to welcome her nominator, Miss Marguerite Felig. Please welcome Marguerite.
Hi, good evening. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Marguerite Felig. I nominated Elisa Leininger because she moved my heart. It isn't just the quality of her artistic ability by any means. I met her in 2020 after the pandemic had been keeping us all indoors more than we liked. And she volunteered for a project that was organized by the local task force in conjunction with city planning here in Billings, Montana. And what she proposed was a little different than what I understood could help during a time when people are hiding from one another or being sequestered inside, looking for groceries. I mean, it was a time of panic if you can kind of look back and think about it. But her idea was to create an idyllic for this mural in a very, very busy area of Billings, an underpass that saw about 17,000 traffic per day. But her idea was to create an idyllic painting that encompassed Billings before people were here. she did a wonderful job. She spent over 1,000 hours. I was there with her sometimes. More often, there were other people working with her. It was in the middle of traffic. She was painting with such focus and such desire to create hope for people during the pandemic. And I really resonate with that. And I appreciated her. She never took a breath. She went through the whole thing and came out the other side with a completed mural, which she touched up the following year. But not only that, I was very inspired by her work in Africa at an orphanage. She's multifaceted. She works with the Girl Scouts. That's where her work on the South Park pool wall is, creating a lovely and uplifting wildlife scene where many people walk through just to comfort them, to give them excitement and hope. And I'm sorry, I probably spoke far too long, but she's just a wonderful young lady, and I can't recommend listening closely to her enough. So I'll let her go ahead and explain to you in her way. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Marguerite. I apologize to anybody who can't hear me very well. My internet keeps cutting in and out, so hopefully you all can hear and see me. Like they said, my name is Elissa Leniger. I'm a Western and wildlife artist. My journey to becoming an artist is a little different than most. I haven't always been an artist. I found my love for art as a child. I always loved it, but in high school, I had a teacher who drew angry faces all over my artwork. So I stopped creating altogether. And when I was 17 years old, I had heart surgery, and it changed the way that I view the world. I wasn't very good at art before. I didn't have a vision for it. I couldn't see things that I see now. After my surgery, I viewed life as more sacred, more vibrant. I could see all the little details that I couldn't see before, all the vibrant colors, the way the light hits a surface and reflects different colors. I didn't have a vision for that before, but once I could see that, I had these paintings in my head that I wanted to create, but I was so discouraged from creating that I never wanted to again. Halfway through my college career, I was pursuing a career in medicine, and I was offered a scholarship to study art in Italy for a semester. So I accepted the offer and I went to Italy and I painted there for the first time. And I fell in love with art all over again, and I never stopped creating. When I returned home to Montana, I was almost immediately a professional artist with commissions and shows and doing work at the time. So my medical career kind of kept getting pushed off a little bit. I was still an EMDNA and a phlebotomist at the time that I was creating art. I was up a medical mission to an orphanage. Yeah. And I took that opportunity to teach those children how to paint and draw and share my love art with them while I was still there on a trip. But I brought a suitcase filled with paints and pencils and paper, and we spent days just drawing and painting and really sharing my love for art, crossing those language barriers. Art is kind of a universe, and we connected through that. And that I learned that I really wanted to share my passion for art with others, fulfilled when I wasn't painting just for myself, when I paint others as well. So in 2020, I had the opportunity to paint the biggest and biggest underpass ceilings, and it was in a low income and underserved neighborhood, one where I grew up. I had driven through my entire life, and it really felt like I was called to create something there because I've always been fascinated by that past. It was dark and it was scary. It was covered in graffiti. There were pigeons, and it's the place where I first saw a homeless person when I was a little girl. It stood to me. So I really enjoyed having the opportunity to bring that to bring my love for fine art and beauty and share that on a broader scale with everyone. I believe that no matter what your income or where you live or how you define art, and we don't have that. There's galleries and museums, but they have restriction. Not everyone has the opportunity to have art and decor in their homes. So I really enjoy bringing not just a mural, all kinds of murals. I truly believe covering an ugly surface with bright makes all the difference in the world. But I feel like there's something really special in creating a work of art for everyone. So I put a lot of details into my paintings. I've spent thousands upon thousands of hours painting these public spaces, painting in our most crime-ridden park, painting the inside of the Community Crisis Center, walk-in coolers in alleyways and these underpasses, and bringing folks who need it most. I have some projects coming up, like a suicide prevention mural as a part of the Yellowstone Valley Suicide Prevention Coalition, as well as a Hispanic Heritage mural in South Park. So it's exciting to be able to share that with everyone. Public art truly transforms spaces and crime and gives people a hopefulness. So I really appreciate this honor, and thank you to Marguerite for nominating me.
Wow, let's give Alyssa a round of applause. And I love that we can see what I imagine is some of your artwork behind you, so we get to get a taste of it as you share. I think what's really moving about your story here is your heart behind why you do what you do, even just uncovering your deep love for art through your experience of realizing how wonderful and detailed the world is. But it's I think this touch of to use your talent and your skills to make your community a more beautiful and impactful place. And absolutely, I think art is something that is overlooked, but it is like the soft power that can really transform a place and transform a community and transform a home and an environment. So, Alyssa, we really want to thank you for giving so much of your time and your love to really transform your community and make it a more uplifting place. So we'd like to present your virtual award here on the screen. Again, you'll get this nicely in the mail, but the HerStory Award is proudly presented to Alyssa Leninger on this day, February 10th, 2024, in recognition of your creative and impactful art, which portrays your passion and appreciation of the American West, its people, and its incredible history and heritage. We honor you as a peace leader who lives by the logic of love. So please join me in congratulating her. Thank you so much. And Adia, we pass it back to you.
All right, before we close, I do have a few announcements, and I just want to say thank you so much, Alyssa, for, yes, touching your community. Art really does touch deep in everybody's heart too, right? And I love how Kayleigh put it, a soft power. And I just am so grateful for you making art accessible to those underlooked communities and really brightening it and making it more beautiful. I think that is so great. I want to do that here. I live in Las Vegas, and I'm like, oh, connecting art to social change is incredible. And I think it's something that connection is often missed and overlooked too. So thank you so much for that inspiration. Okay, so just to close tonight, again, just thank you so much for spending time with us to again honor and celebrate these three amazing, awe-inspiring women. I hope you were able to take away something wonderful from each of their stories. And if you found this impactful and you want to be a part of Women's Federation for World Peace, we invite you to become a member. We will drop the link to that membership website address in the chat. We make it really simple. You can choose from different tiers, whatever works best for you and your situation. But as you can see tonight, we are an organization that wants to celebrate women. We want to encourage and enrich women through education, through events like this, not only on a national scale, but also on a local scale. So again, if you are not a member, please consider being a member, signing up, and then hitting that recurring membership too. So it can just be an auto renewal and you won't have to remember renewing every year. Again, our next event for GWPN, we have a webinar every month. So this webinar will be on February 22nd at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. The theme for this month's webinar is Religion and Spirituality. What's the destination? It sounds very intriguing. I hope you can be a part of that. And again, if you were inspired by this HerStory Award and someone came into mind that you would like to nominate for this moving forward, please don't hesitate to do so. We'll drop a link in the chat to go ahead and link you to that nomination form so you can nominate a wonderful woman in your life that that you would like to celebrate. And that's all I have for you this evening. I hope you enjoyed your time. Thank you once again for joining us, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you. Good